For the first time in my life, my eyes are wide open. Oh, my love, for the first time in my life, my eyes can see. I see the wind, oh, I see the trees, everything's clear in my eyes. I see the clouds, oh, I see the sky, everything is clear in the world.
Oh, my love, for the first time in my life, my mind is wide open. Oh, my love, for the first time in my life, my mind's carefree. I feel the sorrow, oh, I feel the dreams,
Everything is clear in my heart. I feel life,
oh, I feel love.
everything is clear in our world.
Oh, my love, for the first time in my life, my oh, my love, for the first time in my life, my eyes can see. Oh, my eyes can see.
Thank you. I think Sharon has a vested interest in one of the ordained ministers today.
Yeah, I saw your picture in his office today. I said, who's this? He said, oh, that's my girlfriend. I said, you never introduced me to her. I'm going to meet her today. She sings.
There you go. Okay, we have Michael, Ann, with us here on the stage, and to all ministers at this ceremony. We present to you Reverend Michael McMorrow and Reverend Ann Rea to be ordained into the ministry of religious science. You know, last Friday night, a week ago Friday night, Reverend Michael DeFebo and I trekked over to Covina to be at the celebration service of ordination for Reverend Carol Bliss. And what I want to know is, Carol, do you feel different today than you did 2 weeks ago? 1,000%. You betcha, you betcha. And when we were first in ministry, we were required to watch a video by Dr. Kennedy Schultz that said in that video, if you can do anything else, now's the time to do it. Because the road to ministry is not easy. And the road after ministry cannot be easy. It's probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life and the most rewarding thing that I've done in my life, all rolled into one. And so Reverend Ann and Reverend Mike have chosen to continue that journey into ministry in a grander and more glorious way. So tonight, what we are doing here for them is to stand in truth for them tonight. Dr. Harry, is there something you would like to say?
Well, I did commercials for a lot of years.
Yes.
And I never.
And you still would if they call you.
Yes, that's true. You know why? Because I cannot be brief. It's not my way. I will be brief though, because Reverend Ann, as many of you know, has been working with me in a legal relationship for 7 years. You should know, before any tears come out, that on a scale of 1 to 10, Reverend Ann gets an 11. Minister, step into an extraordinary consciousness, and to watch your leadership and to watch your passion moving forward. And I had the good privilege to know one of my teachers. We are all third generation teachers. There were Ernest and his immediate Ernest Holmes and his immediate friends who were the first generation teachers. Then there were their first set of students who became the second generation teachers, and we were all taught by them. And we are now the third generation Holmes teachers. But I did know some of the original folks who were friends with the little short man from Maine with the brilliant consciousness. And when Ernest really, really loved you, he had a thing. And the thing was that he didn't like to leave your presence because he really loved you. And so he would sometimes run out, I was told this story, he would sometimes run out of things to say. And he would just be standing there. And of course, the people standing with him could feel the love and the energy and everything. And he would simply say, I love your consciousness. Reverend Mike, I love your consciousness.
Dr. Harry, Dr. Marie, are you convinced that Reverend Michael McMorrow and Reverend Ann Rea, whom you are presenting, are prepared and worthy for the office and work of an ordained minister of Center for Spiritual Living?
We have.
We are, yes.
We have inquired concerning Reverend McMorrow and Reverend Rea, and believe after our in-depth inquiry that they are both prepared and worthy.
I don't know.
These candidates have been found to be prepared and worthy to conceive ordination by the Centers for Spiritual Living, having now completed the required period of licentiate ministry.
So Dr. Harry Morgan Moses will now charge both of you with your ministerial commitment.
Reverend Ann and Reverend Michael, we stand here as innumerable people that stood here before us, acknowledging God. We have done our utmost in the world, failing and succeeding. And now we stand with this thing in this sanctuary before the eternal. And what we have done, we're not done. We're swallowed up in this moment. We have worked, and now we celebrate. We have entered into the making of the world, but that is not enough. For we stand here this afternoon with the desire that the awareness of God should be more fully experienced in our lives. And that is the purpose of spiritual ordination. In the words of the 90th song, let the favor of God be upon us and establish the work of our hands. A minister is to do things needful and to help other people. They must live with people, think with their mind, feel with their heart, see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and elevate each one of these aspects to its divine potential, to its divine level, according to the heavenly prototype. A minister must possess a heart that loves, comforts, and heals, breadth of heart that is inward, an inward freedom that has no power to understand, to feel. The breadth of heart you have, that you have given, that you give to feel, to serve, to give forward. You are now well endowed. And I charge you with the commitment to love humanity. This is for all of us. I charge you with the commitment to love humanity, to be generous and unselfish in your love, and to respect the freedom and dignity of all. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is yours for the taking and the using. Prove this in your life and in your work. Our founder, Ms. Holmes, wrote, I would rather see the student of the science through its principle than to repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. Remain steadfast and true to your ideals. Let your thoughts be centered always on the realization of the divine presence in every person as you center in yourself. I charge you to teach, to heal, to love, and to minister to all. May the peace of God abide richly in your hearts, so that your labor may bear much fruit for him.
Reverend Mike and Reverend Ann, the Center for Spiritual Living has consented to this convening of this ordination service in recognition of the fact that your ministry is precious to us and to it. Your spiritual families offer you the celebration to honor your sincerity and your commitment to this ever-enlarging dream of growth and consciousness that lifts the human spirit and heals this troubled world. It is right and fitting that you should commit your allegiance to the center in whose name you will exercise your ministry. For Reverend Mike, that would be Centers for Spiritual Living Granada Hills, and for you, Reverend Ann, Spirit Works Center for Spiritual Living. Are you now prepared and willing to make public your commitment as ordained ministers of religious science?
I am.
Do you dedicate yourself to respond faithfully to the needs of all those who call upon you?
I do.
Do you have the realization that God is Spirit, universal presence, and that this divine presence is everywhere, just as life is everywhere present?
I do.
Do you have the faith of God in humanity, in life, in the concept of unity, in your center, and in this, your ordination? Do you commit to teach that God is principle and presence, love and law, the same yesterday, today, and forever? The greatest of mystics were people of power because they were people of prayer. Be reminded that when we pray, we find that our prayers are answered abundantly, overwhelmingly, above all that we ask or that we think. Be ever aware that a minister who is too busy to take time to pray is a great deal busier than God ever intended them to be. I love that. So my beloved ministers, day by day, through all circumstances, no matter what others may do or what others may say, in all things everywhere, I would have you think to pray. As Dr. Holmes said, come alone, sacred, solitary, to face the great reality. Reverend Mike and Reverend Ann, by the authority vested in me by the Centers for Spiritual Living, I do now confer upon you ordination as ministers of religious science. You now receive authority to exercise this ministry and to be a faithful steward in its fulfillment with all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining to it. And on behalf of the officiating ministers on this platform, that is, we who are ordained ministers of religious science here on the stage, we extend to you the right hand of our fellowship. The Centers for Spiritual Living has a special gift for you, which is a symbol of your newly acquired station as ordained minister. So will Denise Forlisi and Kathleen McMorrow please step forward for the presentation and conferring of the stoles. Please place the stole on Reverend Mike and Reverend Ann.
The ordination stole is an outer symbol of the inner commitment that we make to ourselves. Whether it is during an ordination ceremony for a colleague in the Centers for Spiritual Living, a rite of passage for a congregant, or for our own purposes, each time we wear a robe and place the stole upon our shoulders, it is a reminder of our commitment to living a conscious spiritual life and the journey which brought us to our own ordination. The act of placing this stole on our shoulders links us to the clergy and spiritual teachers around the globe and across the centuries. By wearing it, we acknowledge not only our personal commitment, we also acknowledge and appreciate all ministers, priests, teachers, and rabbis of every faith and creed who wear their own vestments. And we know that we are one in our commitment to this universal truth. Dear friends, our blessing to you this day is that you wear these stoles, when you wear these stoles, that you only know peace, joy, love, and laughter. And may you give the same gifts to all those you touch. And yet, if you do encounter in your ministry the rough spots, the snags, the things which keep life from looking as smooth as we would like, may you also know peace, joy, love, and laughter in your recognition of the strength that you give to the fabric of your ministry. You now carry upon your shoulders the form and essence of your ministry. You also carry the clarity, the love, and the strength of a great philosophy, a rich and fulfilling faith, and a success-producing way of life, which we call the science of mind. Carry it all softly and lovingly, and remember to invite others to carry it with you. And know, please, from my heart, to your heart, that I am here for you in whatever capacity I can serve, as I know Dr. Harry is and Dr. Ken is as well. And Mike, you got your mom up here. What a better person. As they all are, come upon us, that you know that you have at least 3 of us here that you can reach out to, and that we will be there for you in all ways, always. Reverend Mike and Reverend Ann, we're all going to sit down, and Ann, you can sit as well, and Reverend Mike, you get to say a few words.